Hello everybody and welcome to part 12 of What If Izuku Midoriya Had the Omnitrix. The overhaul arc is in full swing, so I hope you enjoy. Of course, if you do, be sure to hit a like and subscribe because that always helps me out. You can also leave a comment saying stuff you want to see in the future or your favorite alien. I don't know. All that said, please enjoy the video. After talking to Aizawa, Midoriya, Kirishima, Uraraka, and Tsuyu were allowed to participate in the raid against the Yakuza. However, they had to follow the instructions of the heroes to the letter. That meant they were not allowed to talk about the situation. Those 4 students returned to their regular classes, making sure to keep up a sense of normality while they waited for the raid to begin. During this time, Izuku noticed something different about Bakugo. He seemed volatile and aggressive, more so than usual. There were times where even Kirishima did manage to get him to chill out, and Aizawa himself had to intervene. Midoriya had problems keeping it all bottled in. The fact that he wasn't able to save Eri tortured him inside, and he wasn't allowed to tell his friends, but they supported him through the situation nonetheless. After a few days of investigating, Eri's whereabouts were discovered and the date for the raid was set. The students and hero began the preparations as a result. On an ordinary September day, at 8 a.m., the heroes gathered in front of a police station to get ready for the operation. There, they were divided into different groups and all of them were filled in on what they needed to know. The operation began at 8:30 a.m. with the police chief in charge ringing the doorbell. Before he could hit the buzzer, Rikiya Katsukame, one of the 8 bullets, came bursting through the door, sending some police officers flying to the air. Aizawa got ready to catch the officers, and Midoriya activated the Omnitrix. But before Aizawa could act or Midoriya could hit the dial, Mirio had already caught all of them, placing them gently on the ground. "You good?" he asked the 3 police officers. They nodded, so Mirio got ready to engage with the villain. "For now, there's no sense in splitting up the group any more than we have to. The Ryukyu agency will deal with this one, so go finish the job," Ryukyu ordered while transforming into her dragon form. She was now ready for battle, so she and her group engaged Katsukame. Hearing her orders, Mirio refocused his attention. He, the other heroes and the police then stormed the Hasaikai's base while the Ryukyu squad fought the villain. Some small thugs tried to stop the heroes' advance, but the heroes just kept going, leaving a small group of police officers to deal with them. The group went directly to a little shrine that was built into the wall. There, Nighteye entered a sequence. Once he had entered it, the mechanism started working and a secret door opened up. The moment it did, 3 more thugs burst out, ready to engage with the heroes. These small-time crooks were quickly taken down by Night-Eye's sidekicks, allowing the rest of the heroes to move on. So they did, running to a dead end almost immediately. "I'll take a look," Mirio said, going through the wall. There he found that the hallway continued on. He went back and informed his comrades about the situation. "I'll melt through the wall with acidic," Midoriya suggested, preparing the Omnitrix. "No," Nighteye sternly said while readjusting his glasses. "You have a limit to how much you can transform, so save your energy. Mirio will take care of it." Listening to his mentor, Mirio circulated the power passed down to him throughout his body and punched the wall, breaking it in one punch. The group then continued running, trying to reach Eri before Overhaul could escape with her. As the heroes advanced, their surroundings started twisting and contorting. One piece of the environment smashed into another, blocking not only the heroes' path forward, but also their ability to retreat or get reinforcements. "All these twisting halls don't matter as long as we know where the target is. I can make it!" Mirio announced, running forward. "See you guys on the other side." "I can go too," Midoriya said, opening up the Omnitrix and selecting his transformation. However, before he could hit the dial, his footing became unstable and the ground opened up and swallowed the heroes. Mimic had decided to cut his losses and focus on not letting more of the heroes pass. They landed in a strange room where 3 more of the 8 bullets showed themselves. Midoriya readjusted his choice and prepared to transform, but before he could hit the dial, Sun Eater announced he'd be the one to deal with these lowlives. "I'll go assist Mirio then," Midoriya shouted, again changing his choice to Ice Wing. "No!" Nighteye shouted. Miro can handle things by himself. We don't know what other obstacles we might encounter while down here. It's better if you save your energy and stay with the group. Midoriya looked at the Omnitrix in his selection, then at Aizawa. He deactivated the dial and nodded at Nighteye. The heroes then continued running while Amajiki tried to disable the 3 villains. The heroes continued moving through the hallway. They had a clear path at first, but Mimic quickly caught up to them, bringing with him uncertain terrain. He deemed Aizawa the most significant threat, mainly because of his quirk, and tried to get rid of him as soon as possible. He tried sending him into a separate battlefield, but both Fat Gum and Kirishima got in the way of that, pushing Eraserhead out of the way. Fat Gum and Red Riot were now forced to fight against Rappa and Hekiji Tengai. This battle would push Kirishima past his limits, but in the end, they managed to win. In a way. While the heroes charged through the ever-changing labyrinth and battled the villains, Overhaul walked through the facility. He was talking to NoahStorys about the Yakuza's future with a couple of their lackeys following behind. Overhaul planned on escaping the facility with the needed assets, so NoahStorys was carrying Eri. On that note, time to earn your keep, Temp Squad. Overhaul commanded 2 of his newest allies as the rest walked away. Okay, Toga said. You got it, boss man, Twice enthusiastically shouted. You can leave it to us, Overhaul. Chizaki stopped for a moment, turned to one of his allies, a man wearing a black and dark blue bodysuit along with an iron mask. In a low tone, so the members of the League couldn't hear, he said, Michael, keep an eye on these 2. I don't trust them one bit, so make sure they behave. As you wish, boss, Michael responded. He cut up to the 2 and said, Hey, seems as though we'll be working together. While Team Fat Gum kept many of the villains busy, the main force kept going. However, their advance was impeded by Mimic, who kept blocking and shifting the environment. Rocklock, please secure the floor, Midoriya shouted while he selected his transformation. Why? Oh hell, whatever. Not like we have a better strategy, Rocklock complained, obliging with Midoriya's request. Once the floor had stopped moving, Midoriya hit the Omnitrix, emerging from the flash of light as Humongousaur. The growth in size when Midoriya transformed ended up damaging the environment around them. Just as he had planned, he just created more of a safe space for the heroes to move without issue. Once transformed, Midoriya kept growing, breaking more and more of the environment. Mimic moved his main body away, fearing that Midoriya would catch up with him. He sent attack after attack at the group, trying to force Izuku to stay in place, but Midoriya easily swatted them away. Damn it, at this rate he's gonna reach my actual body very soon, Mimic thought. Better let Michael's team relieve me here. The space around the heroes opened up, allowing them more freedom of movement. As it was opening up, walls came crashing down in the middle of the room, forcing a separation between the groups of heroes. Izuku instantly broke one of the walls. What he found on the other side was surprising. There were 2 rock locks. One was on the ground unconscious while the other was inspecting the body. Hey, this imposter just showed up and came at me out of nowhere, one of the rock locks said. Watch out, there could be more reinforcements somewhere. Very well said, the man wearing the iron mask said, appearing from seemingly out of nowhere. He shot a bolt of black energy at Midoriya. Even though he was in his transformed state, Midoriya could feel the life energy being sucked right out of him, causing him to fall to his knees in pain. He tried to lift himself up, he tried to move, but the draining effect was too strong. He eventually fell on his belly. What a strange taste. Oh well, I suppose energy's energy, Michael commented to himself. Now it's your turn. Michael was about to catch Aizawa in his attack as well, but before he could, the energy absorption suddenly stopped. Aizawa shot his binding scarf at Michael, quickly restraining him. Oh, so you're the one who can erase quirks then, Michael said. What an interesting ability. You should pay more attention to your surroundings, Eraserhead, Rocklock said, pulling out a knife and almost stabbing Aizawa. Skilled as he is, Aizawa managed to evade the attack but had to drop the binding on the other opponent. Rocklock tried to stab Aizawa repeatedly, but Aizawa managed to grab him by the wrist, forcing him to drop the knife. He then used his quirk on Rocklock. A bunch of mush came flying out of the body, revealing Toga there. Toga slipped out of the grip that Aizawa had on her, jumped over Aizawa while grabbing onto him, and threw him onto the ground. Seeing it coming, Aizawa braced himself for the hit, closing his eyes. Toga grabbed her knife from the ground and stabbed into Aizawa's back. Aizawa then started getting up, forcing Toga away. He used his quirk on her so she couldn't transform again. Toga retreated behind a newly erected wall while Michael shot his energy blast at Aizawa, binding him in place. Aizawa grabbed his scarf and tried to shoot it at Michael, but he found himself too weak to attack and ended up falling to his knees. Ah, that's it. That energy tastes normal. No offense, but your friend tastes pretty strange. Not bad, it still has his fair amount of energy, but it's just bizarre, Michael said. He was about to start absorbing Midoriya's life force as well, but when he looked in his direction, he found that he wasn't there anymore. Midoriya then flew out of the ground as Ice Wing, shooting ice at Michael, freezing him in place. Are you alright, mister? I need a Eraserhead. Midoriya asked his teacher after he had been freed from the villain's attack. Fine, Aizawa answered while getting back up to his feet, still reeling from the pain. Be careful. Toga could come back at any moment. Michael focused his power, concentrating it until the energy release destroyed the ice around him, setting him free. Before he could do anything else, the battlefield around the heroes and villains started changing again. Mimic had gone crazy after Twice and Toga began insulting him and the Yakuza, so he started playing around with the battlefield. Since Midoriya was already Ice Wing, his abilities allowed him to move around the environment freely. He managed to find Mimic's location and shared it with his teacher. It took a moment for Aizawa to see him through the ever-changing battlefield, but once he did, he managed to cancel his quirk out. Midoriya then flew up to Mimic and pulled him out of the wall, accidentally sending him falling. Nighteye then used the opportunity, shooting one of his special stamps at Mimic, knocking him out. Midoriya flew behind the man, transformed into Spider Monkey and caught him with his webs, suspending him above the ground. Once Mimic was dealt with, the heroes looked over the room, trying to find the other three villains, but they had just vanished. Sorry to bother you, but we need to have a little chat, Miro said, catching up to Chisaki a mere minute after he split up from the group. Oh, if it isn't our hero from the other day. The one who ran away like a coward, Chisaki said, trying to throw Miro off his game. No train to catch today? I suppose I should give you props. Getting here shouldn't have been easy. I took a shortcut, Miro responded. I'm not letting you get away with the girl. While Overhaul kept talking, Miro started running towards them, but while he ran, he lost his sense of balance and fell to the ground, all because of Deidoro Sakaki's quirk. As he got close to the ground, he vanished into it, surprising the villains. Need to be decisive here and disable them quickly, Miro thought, re-emerging from the ground in front of Chisaki. So annoying. You're going to die anyway, Chisaki said, raising his arm to kill Miro the moment the attack got close enough. But Miro's kick just went through him. The cape followed after the attack, which obscured Chisaki's view. He then felt a punch in the gut, which sent him flying back in pain. Chisaki quickly used his quirk on himself, healing all the damage he had just received. Sakaki, why didn't you use your quirk on him? Chisaki asked. The guy's movements seemed too agile and nimble for a man who shouldn't be able to even stand. I could've sworn I did, the drunkard said. Chisaki then looked at his living lie detector. He got the gist of what the boss wanted with only a glance, so he did as instructed. Hey you, why did Sakaki's quirk have no effect on you? Shin Nemoto asked. Compelled by Nemoto's quirk, Miro was forced to answer. It's because of my quirk permeation. I already feel dizziness 1,000,000 times worse than that every day. After answering the question, Miro vanished into the ground. He appeared in the middle of Nemoto and Sakaki, hitting them each with a kick. The force of the impact sent both of them flying towards the walls, knocking them out of the fight. Chrono, get Eri out of here. I'll deal with our friend here, Overhaul ordered, pulling his gloves off. He touched the ground and sent a chain of concrete spikes at Mirio and his two subordinates. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I can't let them get away with the girl, Mirio thought to himself, trying to come up with a strategy quickly. I've only ever done this by accident, so I hope it works. While touching the ground, Mirio activated permeation on his feet while also unleashing his other power. The permeation quirk expanded from his feet into the environment. He had never done it before, so it was pretty hard to aim, but Mirio managed to reach Chronostasis and Eri. They both fell into the intangible ground, which blocked their escape. Mirio then released his power and Chronostasis and Eri went flying into the air. Mirio then went into the ground, popping up right in front of Chronostasis just as he himself came out of the ground. Mirio then punched him in the gut, enhancing his fist with his own power. The blow sent the villain flying away, allowing for Mirio to gently grab onto Eri. Don't worry, Eri. Everything's alright. I'll be your hero, Mirio announced with a bright smile on his face. That sight disgusted Overhaul. He put his hand to the ground and recreated the battlefield with a multitude of spikes heading towards Eri immediately. Gonna try this again, Mirio thought. His top priority was keeping the girl safe, so he activated his quirk, letting it seep into the environment once more. Eri braced herself for the attack and grabbed tightly onto Mirio, but the attack went through her. There's no way out anymore. Chrono, take care of him, Overhaul ordered after recreating the battlefield without a single exit. Chronostasis pulled out a gun and started shooting at Mirio. I'll be right back, okay? Mirio told Eri, wrapping his cape around her. He disappeared into the ground, showing up behind Chronostasis, uppercutting him. Overhaul saw an opening, so he sends a barrage of attacks after Eri. After all, if she died, then he'd be the only one who could put her back together, so that'd mean victory. Before the attack could get near her, Mirio activated his quirk once more, unleashing the power into the environment. This time he aimed it, directing it precisely to where the girl was. Eri was frightened at the coming attack, but lucky for Mirio, his attack worked. The ground swallowed up the girl. Eri was shot out of the ground a couple of meters away, where Mirio gently caught her and placed her back on the ground. He then went back on the offensive, attacking Chisaki. They were engaged for a good while, time which allowed Nemoto to regain consciousness and prepare his weapon. As Mirio and Chisaki fought, Chisaki tossed the completed product at his ally. He quickly mounted the special bullet into his gun and prepared to fire. He kept looking at the battlefield, trying to find a way to hit Mirio in some form. Nemoto made his decision and fired at Eri. Mirio saw the bullet heading towards the frightened girl. The distance was too long at this point for Mirio's quirk to precisely reach. There was no way he would be able to push her out of the way either. The best bet he had was blocking the shot somehow. Mirio kicked Overhaul away, propelling himself closer towards Eri. He then activated One for All and smashed his fist into the ground, shooting some small boulders and rocks into the air. He then concentrated the power into his legs, kicking all the debris into the bullet's trajectory. A gust of wind went along with that attack. The rocks ended up destroying the bullet. Even if they didn't, the wind would have been strong enough to push it off course. Seeing the attack fail, Nemoto prepared to shoot again, but he was stopped by Overhaul, who said, "The attack isn't going to hit him, so don't waste any more of the finished product." While Mirio made sure that Eri was alright, Overhaul started looking around the battlefield. "Where is that worthless piece of trash?" he thought to himself while he looked. Eventually, he found who he was searching for. Overhaul put one of his hands on Sakaki's head and then the other on himself. He activated his quirk, fusing the two bodies together. With more firepower behind him, he went after Mirio in full force. Even with this stronger form, Mirio was still proving to be a significant challenge. All of his attacks were extremely powerful, but Overhaul just kept resetting his body, healing up after each attack. He was keeping Mirio slightly off his game thanks to Sakaki's quirk. As the battle raged on, Overhaul realized that there was no way to defeat Mirio. The man seemed to have endless stamina, and there was no way to throw him off his game. Reinforcements would arrive sooner or later, so Overhaul had to take him down. To gather more strength, he added both Nemoto and Kurono to his amalgam body, adding both their quirks to his as well. Overhaul fought Mirio for a while, using his quirks and the fact that Mirio was focused on defending Eri to his advantage. He asked question after question at Mirio, compelling him to answer. Eventually, Overhaul managed to get the information he needed to beat Mirio. He attacked Eri, forcing Mirio to make the ground around her intangible. But that left his feet open, so using his quirk, Overhaul made the intangible ground pierce Mirio's intangible feet. This would slow down his movement speed. For only a second, while Mirio reeled from the pain of the attack, Overhaul got the upper hand. Still, he was unable to do anything as a giant dinosaur-looking monster came bursting in through the walls, hitting Overhaul with some debris. And that's the end of the video. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and maybe leave a comment, because I always enjoy reading those. Anywho, yeah. This video focused on the beginning of the Overhaul arc, with the next episode continuing. Yes. Next time, we will see the fight between Humongosaur, Mirio, and the other heroes versus this amalgam Overhaul, which I don't have that many pictures for. Yay! We will also find out a bit more about Michael Morningstar and his addition to the universe, because people have been asking me to add more Ben 10 villains, and I thought, hey, Michael can work here. So yeah. As always, hope you enjoyed. Until next time, everyone, have an absolutely fantastic day. Bye!